This is the price of a rocket ride on the fast track in Lee County. A memorial event for the ages. Tar Heel Topsoil will fly in Sanford, North Carolina. Welcome to the beautiful backwoods of Sanford, North Carolina, along the banks of the Deep River at the legendary Lee County Mud Motorsports Complex, where today we are going to turn the topsoil with the 2022 running of Darrell Jones Memorial Blown Alcohol Madness. And today we feature the paddle tire class and blower motors galore. Massive horsepower. Looking at the machine that took the top spot in the cut tire class last night with Scott Snarski at the wheel. Today, Paul Westinger will try to take the paddle tire victory and sweep the weekend for the blower cars in this team out of Illinois. And of course, the target on their back, everyone will be shooting it. Now, here is a beautiful Cummins 4-cylinder power plant that was gleaming yesterday in the sun when we got here, and it's not so beautiful today after a terrible incident in cut session number 1. Yesterday, Mansell Washburn had this storm to weather during the fast track on the cut tires. A horrifying event on the starting line. Mansell was okay as he worked his way out of the vehicle. There you see Billy Stevens putting the fire out, the smoke and reaper, more than living up to its name, but not the way Mansell wanted to do it. You can see completely charred that Vicky body. The only part of this car, as far as the bodywork that didn't get charred, looks like Ryan McAllister was looking after Mansell Washburn last night. Another incident. This one during session 2, Brandon Miller going after the track record without the wheelie bar. Watch this.
Can you tell us what you saw, what you felt?
I just seen her go up in the air. I tried to come out of it, and she just kept on rolling.
Well, Brandon was in a daze. You could see that 1,000-meter stare as he and the crew knew they'd have a lot of work to get this car back on the track later this season. Not going to be here today, unfortunately, as they took the whole top of the motor off, landing right on the injector hat. But I got to say, we had two very lucky drivers. I think Darrell was watching over all the competitors here this weekend. And the weather, we have beautiful sunny weather gracing us. Very unlike last year where we were having to cut the class short because of the rain. Here comes Dale Small now to start the class, a father-son race team out of the state of Massachusetts. This is the rear engine car of the team, the Kraken. 512 screw-blown Rodeck engine, the aluminum version of the Chevy Big Block. As he cuts the car off, maybe a little bobble on the starting line, but a 2.1 and change. Not bad at all for Dale Small. The crew will get him towed back to the pit area. I'm assuming they're going to do a little bit of tuning before he comes out for session 2. Watch the rear tires. Can't tell if he blew the tires off a little bit or got out of the throttle. It looked like there was a slight stutter there on the starting line. We'll see, as he was the test vehicle for the track here today. Now, a guy who did not have the showing he was hoping for yesterday. You see David Hahn, who will also be competing later spring, the de-icer on the butterflies. This is Lou Hahn out of cold country, the state of Minnesota, in the wild card. One of 2 vehicles that the Hahn brothers have brought here this weekend. He'd love to make up for the rides that he took yesterday in the cut tire class. We'll see what he can do. Lou has been having that same problem all weekend long. The car moving off to the right-hand side of the track. Started way over on the left, but didn't help him any moving across the track like that, as he has to cover a greater distance at a 2.64. See Bruce Wilson making his way out to the track. Hahn going back to the pits also to try to retune and reset, see if he can get a better run in session number 2. Watch him again, moving out of the about left to center there, and he moves over to the right-hand side near the rail. He had to back out of it and then get back on the throttle to get the car straight. Now what he was looking to do. Up next, Bruce Wilson with a 500 cubic inch Chevy. Big block in the front of this awesome machine built in La Puente, California. Not going to be the fastest, but one of the coolest sounding cars in the field. Bruce Wilson's been around the sport for quite a while. He was looking for a better run than that, though, at a 2.523. And watch him again. I don't think he's hooking up quite the way he was hoping on the starting line. He's going to go back there, see if he can get a little bit more out of this car in session 2. We're going to take a quick break as we're bathed in sunshine here this weekend. We've got plenty more to go here with Blown Alcohol Madness. Going to put a quick groom on the track. Hey, there's Mike Ferland. He'll be in the Hill and Hole pit later on today, still getting his test and tune time in on the fast track. Stay with us. More to come from Sanford, North Carolina.
This Back Channel Productions program is brought to you in part by Monsters Monthly. For up-to-date info, media, and all your other monster truck needs, visit monstersmonthly.com. And by Crush This. For a look inside the world of monster trucks, check out Crush This, a Monster Truck podcast.
For the first time ever, Monster Truck Invasion is coming to Hagerstown Speedway for 3 huge shows. To miss World Champions Avenger and Overkill Evolution, along with Higher Education, Black Stallion, and more. Also featuring a special appearance by the King of Monster Trucks, Dennis Anderson and King Sling on his Fan Appreciation Tour. Hagerstown Speedway, July 22nd through 24th. 10 trucks and kits are just $20. Also, it's $5 more than show. Get your tickets at HagerstownSpeedway.com.
This Back Channel Productions program is brought to you in part by RPM Army. For a wide array of content from across the motorsports world, visit rpmarmy.com. Your high-performance fix on the go.
9 machines going after the 2022 Blown Alcohol Madness Paddle Tire Championship here on a beautiful afternoon in the Tar Heel State. Nice breeze blowing, keeping things cool under the warm afternoon sun. Drying out the track just a little bit, but these guys should be able to hook up with those big old paddles. There you see Scott Snarski, who won this class yesterday in the cut tire division. He's getting ready to send his co-driver, Paul Westinger, who's at the wheel of this machine. Paperboy Express, Paul out of Spring Grove, Illinois. A big 540 cubic inch Boss Ford engine. The 980A Whipple supercharger. A little shot of nitrous in the supercharger to try to give it a better atmosphere to create horsepower with that big forced induction system. Watch this machine go. Actually, it looks like he got out of the throttle early, still laid down a heck of a pass. In fact, look at this. He takes the number 1 spot, 1.968. So even with a bad run, he's still in the program. Scott Snarski heading down through a little bit of mud there in the side-by-side to fetch his co-driver and the machine they co-own. Look at this again. He picks up the front end. Again, another vehicle moving off to the right-hand side of this track. So I hope we don't see anybody actually getting into the rail here today, as that could be a bad situation. But they're keeping it under control. This is a fairly wide track, considering how quick at speed it'll narrow up on you. Up next, the guy who did not make a run yesterday, Dale Ellenberger, Touch of Madness, out of the state of West Virginia by way of the Keystone State. This machine originally belonged to Gary Reddick out of the Keystone State, and Dale should be able to get down this track plenty quick. He pulled the car out of the trailer yesterday, was not happy with the engine performance. They stayed up all night tuning this thing, getting it ready for today, and Dale says he can absolutely dominate this class if he's got the car set right. Let's see what Dale Ellenberger can do with this awesome front engine screw-blown Hemi. Talk about putting the horsepower to the ground. Look at this time, 1.836 seconds for Dale Ellenberger out of West Virginia, taking the #1 spot. Keep in mind, by the way, Jimmy Lamsdale holds the track record here in the paddle tire class at a 1.776. So it's quite impressive to get down into the 1.7s. Ellenberger's pushing that time right now. You can see also moving a little bit to the right-hand side of the track, left from where we are, but driving away from our camera location, still lays down a sub-2-second pass on the rear tires, sets the front wheels down right before the timing lights to avoid tripping them with the back wheels, and in a sense that would hurt his time potentially, depending on how quick he actually carried that momentum through there. But as fast as he was going, he may have been able to trip him with the rear wheels and still take top time. We'll see, though, how things hold up as another guy who could definitely ruin the party for Dale Ellenberger, who sits #1 right now. David Hahn out of Iwo Beach, Hawaii, and Born Free traveled the furthest to get here. Now, the car stays pretty much in Minnesota with his brother Lou, but David living the high life out there on the islands. See what he can do here on the mainland. Beautiful pass for David Hahn. Again, moving off to the right-hand side, but not near as bad as Ellenberger and Westinger. They're at 1.917 for Hahn. So he is definitely closing in on Dale Ellenberger's back door right now. Watch him again. Also picking up the front end, not getting near the bounce he had yesterday in the cut tire class. David Hahn moving quick. In Born Free, up next, one of the wild men of mud racing and dirt drags, Thomas Small in the Dark Horse. Not what he was looking for at all. He borrowed an engine for this weekend while he's waiting on parts for his, a 2465. Not at all what Thomas Small is capable of normally, but again, 427 standard deck block is not his normal power plant. Trying to make it through the weekend. Up next, another guy who could get the job done. He was very impressive here last year. Adam Waldron out of Maysville, West Bygod, Virginia in Gone Green. Love the front tire setup on this thing. Definitely a fast vehicle in the class. Waldron looking for the championship at the wheel of this blown alcohol Chevy rail. Solid run for the rear engine machine, but not what he's going to need to get to the #1 spot at 2.276. As Waldron laying down a shot, not getting it done, but he'll get another shot at it in session 2. Watch him again, a little puff of smoke, and he comes off the line, planting the horsepower in the rear tires, barely lifting the front end. So the wheelie bar doing its job. We're not done yet. Session 2 coming at you next when we come back to Lee County.
Hey, welcome to Wild Man Adventures. We're at the Silver Lake Sand Dragway. There really wasn't any off-roading back then. It was all off-road. We're on our way to Lima, Ohio. Got wooden wheels.
Oh, it's slippery as all get out.
Hey, we're here with Rich Cummins. Hey, we're here with Mike Potter. Hey, we're here with Alan Pizzo. Gotta check it out. This week we're gonna go down memory lane.
Back Channel Production is your home for all the action of the 2022 Darrell Jones Memorial, fastest of the fast, Blowing Alcohol Madness, and the Gnarly Nitrous Shootout. Here we look at our current standings coming out of session number 1. Dale Ellenberger on top, of course, with that 1.836 second run, followed by David Hahn and Paul Westinger, only 3 cars down in the sub 2 second category. But you see, Dale Small was closing in on that realm, and Thomas Small, father and son, sitting 4th and 5th right now. And as I mentioned before, the track record in the paddle class held by Jimmy Lamb with a 1.776 second run. Again, very impressive when these cars can get 180 feet in less than 2 seconds. But as you see, they are well capable of it as Dale Small works toward making his way back to the track as the fans enjoy the shade under the tents. They are packed in the grandstands and across the track on the deck. We'll see if Dale Small can pick up some time on the rest of the field here in the Kraken. I do believe he just bettered his own time. Yes, he did by just a little bit, a 2.044, so he's going to stay right there in 4th place, but bettered his chances of staying there for the rest of the field by picking up just a little bit of time right there. He almost gets himself down into that sub 2 second category, but I do believe the starting line might be going away on this track. The more they dig down, those paddles will start picking up that soil and loosening up that starting line. You'll start to see the tires blowing off, and it's amazing to think that they can still blow the tires off with those big old paddles as Lou Hahn makes his way into the timing lights in the wild card out of Minnesota. See what Lou can do with this blown and injected alcohol engine. Moving around again, but he was able to stay on the throttle through the timing lights. A 2.069 will move him into 5th place. As it stands right now, Lou Hahn looking good here in session 2. Again, though, moving off to the right-hand side as Paul Westinger rolls back out to the starting line looking for 1st place in the Paperboy Express. Now they're starting to have some oil pressure problems that they thought they took care of yesterday. They're starting to rear their head again. This awesome Ford-powered rear-engine rail out of the state of Illinois. Car out of Libertyville, Paul out of Spring Grove, Illinois. We'll see what Westinger can do here in session 2. Wow! Car comes to a stop. A big pop right there. It doesn't look like he lifted the blower, but we do see some flames coming out right around the area where the blower belt is, just under the injector hat. The crew definitely see it. Actually, you can see he's got an alcohol fire right there. You see the kind of ripple effect on the background. That is one of the biggest dangers of running alcohol is the fire risk. You cannot see the flame very easily, and they're going to go ahead and squirt that real quick. They really don't want to spray these engines with a fire extinguisher, but in this case they have to. Watch again, you'll see the pop. Word we get is they blew all the burst panels out of that thing, so they did not lift the blower. As you can see there in slow motion, the top of the injector did not move, but they may have still done some serious dollar damage to that thing. Hopefully not. They've got it hooked up to the side-by-side, though, and Scott Snarski is going to go ahead and tow Paul back to the pit area. They're going to get a look at it, and we'll find out. Stay with us. More to come from Sanford, North Carolina.
Listen up. It doesn't matter if you just watch your first show or you're a longtime fan of the sport and you want to know more about monster trucks. Well, tune into the Throttle Out Show on Monday and Thursday nights, live on our YouTube channel at 7:30 p.m. Central Time. You'll get the inside scoop and all the behind-the-scenes footage in monster trucks and soon to be all other motorsports. Life is better when your foot is to the floor. So remember, when in doubt, throttle out.
There you see Paul Westinger in the Paperboy Express being towed back to the pit area. The word we get is the throttle cable became disconnected at some point during that run, but we did see and hear a massive pop as he blew all the burst panels out of that thing right below the injector head. Up next, Mike Ferland out of the state of Maine in the Redneck. Knew he'd be outgunned, but an impressive pass with this turbocharged Jeep CJ out of the Pine Tree State at 3.205 with a Junkyard 6.0 out of a Cadillac Escalade, 1,000 foot-pounds of torque at the rear with the nitrous bottle. Now, Bruce Wilson's vehicle, I've made a mistake earlier. This is actually Brandon Wilson at the wheel, his son in this vehicle, originally out of La Puente, California. Now from right here in the Tar Heel State by way of the Golden State. Let's see what Brandon can do. Love the sound of that machine. A much better ride here with a 500 cubic inch Chevy. Getting all the horsepower to the ground. Not going to take the number one spot by any means, but a very impressive ride. Decent finish here for Wilson. 2.251 here in the paddle tire class. Watch him again. The butterflies open up. Displacing a lot of material. You can see the torque of that engine picking the left front tire up off the ground. Nice straight pass for Brandon Wilson. Up next, the man who's leading the class, Dale Ellenberger. Ready to go out of West Virginia by way of the Keystone State. As I mentioned before, bought this vehicle from Gary Reddick. You saw him shoot a little bit of nitrous in to the back of the injector hat there just to create a little bit more volatile air-fuel mixture here. See if they can get a little more horsepower out of this thing. And Dale Ellenberger gets ready to light the tree here in Sanford. Carrying the front end and then setting the front tires down right before the lights. Look at him dirt track his way back into the pits. Ellenberger at a 1.908 doesn't better his own time, but can't hurt him any as he still lays down a sub 2 second pass. So neither one of his runs here this weekend has been bad. And again, he didn't get to make a run yesterday. You see how much the tires grew when he took off. And again, setting the front end down right before the timing lights and then drifting on into the pit area on the paddles. Risky business right there as we take a look at the standings after Ellenberger's run. Again, that 1.83 and change still holding on. David Hahn will be coming up next, still sitting in second at a 1.917 second run. Paul Westinger at a 1.968. Dale Small and then Lou Hahn, who moved up into the number 5 spot, knocked Thomas Small down into, I believe, the number 6 spot as David Hahn gets ready to take the last pass of the afternoon here on the fast track out of Iwa Beach, Hawaii, and Born Free. Beautiful pass for David Hahn. I don't know if it was enough to get the number 1 spot, but it's nothing to be ashamed of. 1.895, not going to do it, but much improved. He was right there on Ellenberger's back door. As I said, what a class of cars today. 9 of them did not disappoint. Here are the final results. Dale Ellenberger on top with that 1.836 second run, and then you see only about 0.06 of a second off David Hahn. Paul Westinger right behind them in spite of doing some dollar damage to that big Ford motor in the back of Paperboy Express. Dale Small hanging in there in the number 4 spot with the pass he laid down in session 1, and Lou Hahn, who came back in session 2 to get himself into the number 5 position. Again, an awesome class of blower motor paddle tire racers here today. And one more look at Dale Ellenberger's awesome session 2 pass. Of course, session 1 is what got him the victory here today. So Dale, in spite of not making a run yesterday, comes back into the class today and takes a victory. Thanks for joining us. We're not done from here in Sanford. More to go at the Hill and Hole. We will see you then.